here's a quote. I continue to believe there is no immediate health risk in North Texas, but some areas near oil and gas facilities require additional monitoring. Mark Bickery, TCEQ Executive Director, said in a prepared statement. He's already made up his mind that there's no problem with the air in North Texas without even looking at the monitoring. How does that sound? How do you expect the public to have trust in a state agency when the executive director comes out and makes statements like this? It boggles my mind. You guys are so far out of touch with the public and what's happening in this area. You look at your little tests, you do your little numbers, your little strategies and your monitoring, but it's all for naught. Because when it comes down to breathing, there are no boundaries. And you can't not breathe in something you don't want to breathe in just because it's too small. You guys need to start from scratch, start all over. And you guys need to get rid of Mark Bickery.
I'm Ulrich Herman. I have spoken at many such meetings as this, with the effect that TCEQ always managed to water down every decent proposal, with the effect that pollution has increased. So, in a sense, I have given up, don't offer a specific suggestion except two general ones. Number one, forget about regarding the EPA as a servant of the devil. Number two, why don't you change your name to the Texas Commission for Environmental Pollution?
Followed by Mary Ann Herman.
I hate to see good profs go to waste, so if I could have some emotional support. Thank you. Good evening. I'm Gary Stewart. I'm the founder and executive director of the Interfaith Environmental Alliance. We're a young group, but we have a group, a chapter in Dallas County, Tarrant County, and we're trying to organize in other counties. Our goal is helping congregations of all faith traditions to green themselves and to become prophets for environmental justice. I've been at this work for 6 years now, and I have to give a deep bow to all the environmentalists who've been working at this for 30 some odd years, but trying to bring ecological sanity to this state, which is, I have worked as a social worker in MHMR in Dallas, and I can tell you that this state government is in desperate need of antipsychotic medications. I am an Episcopalian. I'm very proud of that. I'm a former Buddhist monk. I was very fortunate to be a monk under a Vietnamese Zen master, Thich Nhat Hanh, who was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize by Martin Luther King in 1968. And what I learned from him, as well as from my Christian tradition, is the importance of loving God and neighbor. But my understanding, and an increasing number of people of faith's understanding, is that for us to love God and our neighbor means that we have to love what goes into our neighbor's stomach, what goes into their lungs, what happens to the earth. How can I say I love God or my neighbor if I allow toxins, mercury, CO2 that's increasing global warming? And by the way, in case you don't know, Texas is #1 in the United States in greenhouse gas emissions, and we're #7 in the world in greenhouse gas emissions. And in case you don't know, the world scientific community has established beyond reasonable doubt that climate change is real. Okay? So if you don't believe that, I suggest that you contact Dr. Gerald North the climatologist who was on the IPCC. He's a climatologist at Texas A&M, a good Aggie. You know, I feel, I'm not Moses by any stretch of the imagination, but I kind of feel like I'm before Pharaoh, who has hardened his heart. For 20 plus years, these citizens and many others have come to you begging, wanting to work with you, and you have spat in their faces. An obscure Jewish prophet said, "You shall know a tree by its fruit." You may have heard of that prophet, but I don't think you take his teachings seriously. And from what we can tell from the fruit from this tree, it is rotten to the core. This vacancy, we wash our hands of you. You, well, maybe not all, but many of us have. You have completely abdicated any moral responsibility, and I'm almost finished. So please don't interrupt me.
Sorry, I may have.
We give up on you. I participated, not as a person at the table, but IEA wanted to support the efforts of citizens to come up with a good SIP plan, and you trashed it. You refuse to regulate the biggest polluters in this area, and of course throughout the state, under the authority of the abomination that calls himself the governor of the state. Because we have stacked your agency. I'm not finished.
Mr. Stewart, the next person wants to give...
I understand, and I have waited a long time, and I worked a hard day. So let me finish.
I understand.
So let me finish. I'm almost finished. You have abdicated any responsibility. And so our goal is now to go to EPA. They will help us. You refused. You refused. Last year when I spoke at the hearing of EPA at Arlington, I and many others said, save us. Save us from TCEQ. And my work is to convince other people of faith, and excuse me, how many of you know people of faith from different religious traditions? Raise your hands. I want you to talk to them and tell them, why weren't you here? Why were you not here at this hearing? If you know a minister or a rabbi or a priest or an imam or a Buddhist monk and nun, you grab them and you tell them, why weren't you here? We expect you to be here. Thank you.
Followed by Linda Hanrathy, who will be followed by Ed Arden.
I'm Marianne Herman, and I'm a member of a lot of environmental groups, and I'm also on the Interface Environmental Association. And I don't know what else to say. I mean, Gary has said everything, and everybody else has given all the details about what needs to be done. And besides, you know that already. You have known it for a long time because of the plan that the citizens of the area made in 2006, which you ignored, as has been said before, and all the other plans that have gone before that. And I think you have totally torn down on your job. And I really don't know how you can reconcile this with your consciences. I think it's hard to understand. And we, the people,
Can you stand closer to the mic?
we the people want the air that meets the requirements of the EPA. And please do your job.
Ed Arden, is that the vote?
I'm Linda Hanratty, and I live in Fort Worth. I'm here representing